Hello and welcome to Stage, Screen, and In Between with Helen. Tonight I'm at the Westbury Manor on Long Island, and I'm here because Little Shelter Animal Rescue and Adoption Center is having its 15th annual Masquerade Ball. Stay with us. I'm here right now with David Ceely, who is the Executive Director of Little Shelter Animal Rescue and Adoption Center, and we're here at the 15th annual Masquerade Ball. This is so exciting. Thank you for inviting me here, David.
Oh, thank you for coming. We love when you come to our events, Helen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You know, they do so much to their life. He and Tito, their lives are actually dedicated to helping shelter pets, dogs and cats, and they really do a fabulous job, and they are very committed to the cause, right?
Yes, and we're very, very lucky to be able to do what we do. It's a wonderful organization. It's been around for 98 years, and I've been the director since it's going to be 15 years soon. But I started as a volunteer in 2002, so I've been with the shelter for 22 years.
And you have a calling for it.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Our president, who has been around for 30 years, when the organization had gotten so big, she needed someone to run it for her, and she had reached out to me, and I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm very lucky.
Yeah. So now how many dogs do you have right now in the kennel?
So right now at Little Shelter, we've got probably about 45 dogs. We have almost 300 cats at Little Shelter. But then we also run the Town of Huntington Cat Shelter, and we've got about another 100 cats there as well. And then we have our sanctuary upstate. And then we've got probably about 9 dogs up there. It's 110 acres. It's gigantic. But we don't have a whole lot of dogs up there. They live in rooms with pictures on the walls. They have their own couches and chairs.
They're really treated in a special way.
They really are, with 24-hour care, and there's no more chain link.
No more chain link.
No more chain link.
Oh, how wonderful. Now, I read somewhere that there's a new thing where they don't have puppies and kittens in pet shops. Is that true?
Yeah, that was just some legislation that was brought about and will probably be going into enforcement in probably around 2025.
That's so good.
Yeah, where they won't be able to sell in pet stores anymore in New York. So we're so happy about that.
Yeah, but they will be able to have shelter pets come in there, am I correct? And sell the animals that need a home to begin with, right?
Yes, and they'll be able to help find the homeless animals homes rather than creating more homeless animals to sell.
How important is this event to as far as fundraising tonight?
So this is definitely one of our bigger fundraisers throughout the year. We have 2 big ones, our Petapalooza in August, and then we've got this Gala, and they're 2 of our biggest fundraisers for the year, and they raise money. They raise money for Little Shelter, the adoption center that we have. It also for the sanctuary and for the Town of Huntington Cat Shelter. But this year, we're going to be talking about the renovations that we're going to be doing at Little Shelter. So our 98-year-old facility is going to be getting a facelift soon.
How cool. So you have special guests tonight. You have Jill Rappaport, who is a wonderful pet advocate, and she's won so many awards for her journalistic prowess, right? And also, you said that the architect of Little Shelter might be here tonight too. Who is that?
He's going to be here tonight too. His name is James Smiros. He's a genius architect. He's probably one of the smartest, most down-to-earth people that I've ever met. He's doing his wonderful architecture work pro bono for Little Shelter, which is a huge deal, and we're so excited to be working with him. And he's just such a nice guy.
So what improvements are we going to see? Are you going to have more space, or are you going to just make the space more usable?
It's going to be more usable. We're going to have the same square footage, but right now we're kind of a hodgepodge of like 5 different buildings that popped up over the 98 years. This building will be a state-of-the-art building. It'll be more green, it'll be more efficient, and it'll be all under one building. We'll have everything.
And how long is this going to take?
We're hoping to break grounds probably by the end of 2025, and maybe, hopefully, we can get this done by our 100th anniversary, which is really what we're shooting for.
So now let me ask you, have you had any really successful parents come along for these animals lately? Because I see all the time you have wonderful postings on the internet that 5 cats are gone today, 3 dogs are gone today. So how is that going?
It's very exciting. We have probably we have the most wonderful adopters. We've got a special niche carved out for our senior pets, which are harder to adopt, but we really do well with our senior pet adoptions, so we're very happy about that. But our adopters are just incredible. We really love them.
That's so wonderful. Is there anything that you want to say to the public?
So I just want to make sure that everybody knows how important it is to adopt instead of shopping. We know that's going to be a little bit easier now, and make sure everyone spays and neuters their pets is part of the one of the most responsible things you can do as a pet owner to help end pet overpopulation.
Right. So make sure you head over to Little Shelter for all your pet needs. Lots of love.
Thank you, Helen. It's great to see you.
Same here. My next guest is Jill Rappaport, and she has so much that she has accomplished for animal rescue that I'm going to read to you what I have here. Throughout her news, acting, and producing career, Jill Rappaport has developed, produced, and hosted several award-winning and beloved television segments that feature adoptable animals, including Bow to Wow on the Today Show, Best in Shelters with Jill Rappaport, Rappaport to the Rescue on The View. Jill Rappaport is an award-winning animal advocate, network journalist, and best-selling author. Most recently, she hosted and was a consulting producer for Animal Planet's inaugural Dog Bowl, an idea that she created and championed to highlight older animals in need. She is considered a voice for the voiceless. Jill works tirelessly to make a difference. She is proud that each show has achieved 100% adoption record. Jill's work has garnered a number of coveted honors, including a record 6 Genesis Awards from the Humane Society of the United States, the first Voice for Animals Award from the Humane Society of the United States, the Presidential Service Award for Media Excellence from the ASPCA, and the Excellence in Journalism and Outstanding Contributions to the Pet Industry Award presented by the American Pet Products Association. She has also had the honor of ringing the bell on the New York Stock Exchange, all to raise awareness for pets in need. I am with Jill Rappaport, who is the voice for the voiceless. She does so much to shine a light on shelter pets across the country. She's an award-winning journalist, author, and human being.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so pleased to have you. And, of course, David is very blessed to have you here.
Well,
For Little Shelter. So what do you think of this event, huh?
This is so much fun. First of all, I adore David Ceely, and who doesn't love Little Shelter?
Yeah.
I've been working with David for I met him almost 8 years ago, and he's always been my go-to guy with any TV appearance, whether it be, on a national show or on QVC. I said, I need rescue dogs right now to have up for adoption, and David and I are kindred spirits because we're all about the underdogs, the seniors, the pits, and the special needs.
It was your idea to have the show Bow to the Wow?
My segment Bow to Wow on the Today Show, yeah.
And that was to have older pets adopted, was that it?
Well, we had a 100% adoption record in the 8 years that it ran.
Isn't that great?
And that was everything from pit bulls to 3-legged dogs to deaf dogs. We got them all at home. So I'm all about the underdogs. Puppies find a home usually.
Yeah.
Right now it's challenging for even purebred puppies, believe it or not. Yeah, we're in a dire situation right now.
Why is that?
It's the worst it's been in rescue in 2 decades. I think a combination of when COVID ended and people had adopted and taken in all these animals.
Yeah.
A lot of people ended up giving the animals back to the shelter when they went back to work. And I tell people all the time, obviously, the first choice would be if you could take one of these animals and make them a part of your family. But if you can't, you can foster, which you are the bridge between hell and heaven.
Right.
When you foster, that is the most important thing you can do.
Yeah.
And you can donate your time, and whether you go in for an hour a day and walk dogs.
Be a dog walker.
Yeah, or just
Do
help
something.
out or get them acclimated to a human bond and a human touch, or donate $1. If every one of us gave $1.
Just $1. It's
yeah,
so true.
there's
We
so
feel
much-
it's not enough, but there's a lot of us.
No, there's so much we can do. And
She's got the perfect costume. It's not really a costume. This is her. her.
Yeah, I'm a frustrated cowgirl. Always been in love with Bob. Named my horse Sundance.
I wonder why.
Yeah, and I would have named him Hubble, but Sundance fit it better. Hubble from the way we were.
Yeah.
Robert Redford, I got to know him very well. He's the cover of our book, People We Know Horses They Love. And it was through Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. We all got to know each other through this book. And I had interviewed all of them in the past during my career as an entertainment reporter, but to get to know them on the level of animal advocates, Paul Newman was amazing. His daughter, Clea Newman, has done so much for children, with Pegasus therapeutic riding and through her expertise as a rider. And Robert Redford is one of our greatest humanitarians. I mean, first of all, animal advocate extraordinaire, what he's done for educating people about the wild mustangs, about our earth, about the environment. Robert Redford was one of the first pioneers to get out there and speak out on the environment, the ecology, animals, what we need to do to preserve our water, our land, decades before anybody realized that if we don't do it, we're going to be in trouble.
Caretakers.
Yeah, exactly. And Redford was on that decades ago.
So how many dogs, cats, and horses do you have?
Sadly, I just lost one of our rescue dogs, so I have 3 rescue dogs and 5 horses, a lot of wild turkeys and wonderful animals roaming the ranch. I'm, like I said, always a cowgirl, inside and out. And when they said, "Oh, Masquerade," I said, "Well, I'm just going to go as me, frustrated cowgirl."
That's it. Yeah. You're not a frustrated cowgirl. You are a cowgirl.
Oh, well, I like to think of that.
I thank you for all
Thank
that you
you.
do for the animals, because I love the cats and I love the dogs and I love horses. Had one myself at one time. And it's so important to shine a light on the shelters as you do.
They're honoring me tonight, but I feel like I should honor David Ceely and the Little Shelter. First of all, it's one of the oldest shelters in the country. And you know what? When you adopt a senior, when you take one in the twilight of their lives, they shock you and they excel and they surprise you.
Yes.
How they literally go on to live way past what we ever thought they would, because they know they've been saved. They want to be here. They want to be with you. And they know, and they thrive because of it.
Right now I am with Jim Smiros, and he's the architect that's going to be doing the work for Little Shelter. This is so phenomenal.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Everybody loves Little Shelter, and I'm just finding out tonight about this renovation. So tell us about it.
Well, it's actually really a new project. So the Little Shelter's been here for 98 years now, I think, or 97. And, it's the first no-kill shelter on Long Island, and it's in dire need of updating. And many years ago, my good friend Sandy DeGennaro came to me and asked me to take a look at the facilities and see if we could renovate it. And I proposed that instead we actually build a new building and combine all of the existing square footage of all those multiple buildings, because I thought it'd be more economical to do one new structure as opposed to renovating 6 or 7 buildings. It'd be more compact, and we had a couple of other great ideas. The shelter is really up against some residential areas that were developed after the building was built.
Okay.
And what we did was we flipped the building to the other side of the property where the parking is, and we designed a new shelter building with all the kennels on the other side facing to the away from the neighbors, so the neighbors were no longer going to be bothered. And we designed one new building, and it's really spectacular. It's got kennels and lots of space for cats, and we went to the Huntington Zoning Board and presented our idea, and they approved it. And
Wonderful.
it took us many years to get through the planning board process in the town of Huntington, but I'm really happy to say that perseverance paid off. We got all of our approvals recently, and we
great.
are now just getting started on our fundraising campaign, and we're looking forward to making this a reality and really making sure that little shelter survives into the next 100 years as well.
Yes. Well, there's an awful lot of lovers of dogs and cats on Long Island, so I'm not surprised that you got approved. But so tell everybody, how are you going to go about the fundraising? Because this is probably going to be an expensive proposition.
It's a big undertaking, and we're really getting just started now launching a campaign. We're working with grant underwriters to look for larger groups. We need that angel investor. We need somebody that's going to come in and make that first big donation.
Yeah.
And we're looking at naming opportunities for naming the whole campus, naming different parts of it.
Okay.
But it's
name it after the person that invests.
yes, absolutely.
Like they do with they do that with hospitals all the time.
Absolutely.
How many buildings is it going to be?
One new building, just one
single building.
Everything under one roof. And it's going to have, on the main level, administration. It'll have dog kennels. It'll have a small cat area and the hospital. And then on the lower level, it'll have a much larger cat area. And it'll have training rooms for staff and storage.
Do you have cats and dogs yourself?
I have a dog. I have a dog, and my two kids each have a dog. So we have 3 dogs at home.
Oh, that's wonderful. So now, what is
all rescues.
All rescues, the best kind. So, what is your background in architecture?
Well, actually, I really focus on high-end residential architecture.
Okay.
I've done some commercial work as well, and I actually designed an animal shelter for the town of Oyster Bay, funnily enough, in my first job 35 years ago. So I've always had a love for animals. I love doing that shelter. I did the town of Oyster Bay animal shelter when I was at my former firm. And I worked with my good friend Sandy many years ago on some commercial projects, and she came to me and pitched this idea and asked if I would help. It was a little out of my regular wheelhouse today. Today we're really focused on high-end residential projects, but I took that same perspective and that sort of problem-solving attitude to this project, and that's how we came up with this concept, which was kind of bold, but I have to say that I was so happy we went to the town and they approved it. It's spectacular.
That's great. So now I heard somebody say that the time frame would be in 2 years in time for an anniversary, their 100th anniversary?
Well, I think we may be going longer than that, but certainly our hope is to have shovels in the ground and be well underway in time for that 100th anniversary. I think, it's really important to lock the little shelter in for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be your legacy, right?
Well, actually, we're doing it all for Sandy. For me, it's all in honor of my good friend Sandy, who passed away and didn't get to see the final approvals. So that's what drives me to keep it going now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Do you have a website where people can follow what you're doing?
Well, you know what? It's all going to be on our Instagram, which is Smiros Architects. They can see it there. And certainly my website is smiros.com.
Fabulous. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
So nice to meet you, and you're doing a wonderful thing. And
the people who just put together tonight, Tito, Jen Foreman, Laura Petrostelli, Kathy was helping out with this, but a lot of work goes into this venue. So I just wanted to recognize our committee who put this together for us tonight and give them a round of applause. A lot of work. We can't do what we do if it wasn't for our medical staff. We're coming off of Vet Tech Appreciation Week, so again, I just want to send some appreciation. Dr. Hanlon, our in-house veterinary, who fell out of the sky, and they were looking for a year ago, and she worked her butt off. We have Dr. Fredericks here tonight, who is third generation grandfather, his father, and himself. And we're so grateful to them. We work with Dr. Garrettson at One Animal Hospital, Dr. Funk at Oak Animal Hospital. If it wasn't for them, we couldn't do what it is that we do. They make us look good. I also wanted to acknowledge two special people tonight who really helped Little Shelter out in an unparalleled way. First, going to call out my friend Jill Rappaport. She's super real, she's super hardworking, and she's tireless. Unfortunately, she just recently lost one of her rescue pups, and his name was Oscar. And I know how much she loved Oscar. And in honor of Oscar, I would like to present Jill with the Oscar Award. So now we compare an Oscar to all of the awards that you won.
I've always wanted it.
Now you have Oscar.
Oh, thank you, Dave. This is so beautiful. Thank you so much. And you know, his name, he was a dachshund, Oscar Mayer. You know, when I rescued him, he was 8 years old, given up 3 times. It took me 6 hours to get him into my car because he was crying and whimpering for every car that pulled up at the shelter, hoping it was the last owner that dumped him. And once I got him in the car, I could not get him in the car again because he thought he was being given away. So thank you, this means so much to me. And David mentioned how we first met, and I'll never forget it because I got a call from the producer of the Harry Connick Jr. show, and they said, we have a matter of hours to get this show together. We need multiple dogs with adopters ready to take them, and we want you to find them immediately. And I said, well, you know, I'm all about the underdogs. And I even said, I'm not going to pick puppies because everybody wants puppies. I want to do pit bulls, seniors, special needs. And they thought, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. And they not only allowed us to do it, they embraced it. Harry Connick was amazing. And a friend of mine said, the only one that can pull off this task is David Ceely at Little Shelter. And I never met David. And what Little Shelter does, I call it a little piece of heaven on earth. There's no rescue organization like it in the country, with no more wonderful people leading it. Tito and David, what you do is truly God's work every single day. Am I right?
For our genius architect, James Smiros. Jim, could you come up? And I don't think I've ever heard anybody so excited when he called me to let me know what actually happened for us to be able to go forward with starting the campaign to build the new Little Shelter. So Jim, we would like to present you with the President's Award for the President to Smiros and Smiros Architects for the most supportive Long Island business. Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you, David, and thank you everybody at the Little Shelter for this great award. I accept it on behalf of Sandy DeGennaro, my good friend, and really the reason I'm here. She tricked me, and I couldn't be happier. So thank you for that. I'm very excited about the new shelter. You know, Little Shelter's 98 years old this year, and we have designed something that I think is really going to take us into the next 100 years. So we're getting ready to launch that. You'll see it on Instagram, you'll see it in the social medias, and social media, I should say. And you know, I hope that you'll join us in our efforts to do the fundraising that we need to do to make this happen. Our goal is to have this project underway in time for our 100th anniversary and see it operating shortly after that. You know, it actually took us over 5 years to get all of our approvals. It was really a lot of work, but to the credit of the town of Huntington, they worked with us and we got through everything, and we actually have approvals for 80 dogs, 300 cats, and a new 10,000 square foot facility. You know, what I loved about the Little Shelter was it started with a little Cape Cod along the road, and they built another building behind it when they needed it. They built another building, and they built another building, and they kept going until there was 7 or 8 little buildings.
Taped together.
Yeah, really held together with spit and a prayer and a promise to do better next time. So when we designed the new facility, we designed the administration building up front as a little Cape Cod, really in tribute to the original building. So when you look at it from the street, when you pass it, it's going to look like the original building. And behind that is the state-of-the-art facility. So administration up front and new facility. We flipped it to the other side of the property. We moved all the dogs to the far side. So the neighbors on this side won't be bothered and put parking here. And it's a super facility with medical treatment facilities, adoption areas, training areas for staff, and
Recovery areas.
yeah, recovery areas. So,
Pharmacy.
yep, pharmacy, all the real things that a shelter needs to really operate well. And it's nice that it's all under one roof, so it's just going to make it a lot easier for this hardworking staff to get their work done. So, in the near future, you'll see the launch of this, and I hope you'll follow us, and I hope you'll participate.